What's going on, friends? James DeWin here with the Alpha Red Comic Channel. Thank you for joining me here on this Sunday evening. This is where we close out the weekend and do a little drawing, talk a little comics, and hopefully you get some enjoyment out of spending the end of the weekend with me in my best Bob Ross impressions with my happy clouds and such and such. Did I hit play on the? Did I hit play? I did not. All right. I'm doing a little producing back here. And of course, hello. And thank you for showing up. Said nobody. All right. That's all right. We're going to get started. And when I started back in April of 2024, when I finished Alpha Red, the first 5 issues of Alpha Red, and I decided to collect it into a trade paperback, I think that was the beginning of 2024. And I started going on live streams just to try to promote the Kickstarter for the collected edition of Alpha Red. And that is when I decided that I wanted to continue with Alpha Red. I had a story in mind. It didn't go in that direction, but I did decide that why start a new project? Why start new stories with new characters when I have a character that I still like and I enjoy drawing, and then now I get to introduce people to Alpha Red. So I went in the route of becoming an independent comic creator. I mean, I was already, but I was really, now that I had a full story in place, I could start strategizing on how to present the story to all the rabid fans out there looking for an alternative to mainstream comics that have not really been satisfying in the past few years. So if you're looking for an alternative, I have an alternative with Alpha Red. So when I started going on the live stream circuit with a handful of people who would have some no-name Joe Schmo on to pitch his idea about his independent comic, I connected with Peter Simeti of Alterna Comics, and he was generous enough to have me over on his channel, and so that's how it was one of the first shows that was made available to me, and I appreciated him not just having me on, but after we did the live stream, he spent about another hour with me afterwards behind the scenes, and really kind of helped walk me through the thought process of what it takes to grind out an independent comic on the regular. Obviously, after issue number 5, I was able to. I had 5 issues under my belt, so I wasn't completely new to the game. But at the time, I think Pete was on year 17 of Alterna Comics, so I was pretty excited to hear just some advice on how to manage doing it long term. So as I reposition my strategy of how to best use my channel, I want to make sure that I show some love to the independent community. And so last week I started with the independent Kristian comic. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I'm sure you can go back and check it out. It was Archangels the Saga, and I was joined by the creators, and hopefully Pete will pop in. I've extended the invitation. He said he was busy, but I sent him the invitation anyway. He said he would try to pop in and say hello in the chat. So hopefully he can pop in and tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong while I'm drawing King Cryptid. So I just wanted to show him some love by making the second drawing of the year, his creation, King Cryptid. So I'm gonna turn on. Actually, I'm gonna say hi to you guys. See who's in the chat. Brother Fong is in the house. I was trying to make these bigger, but okay, I can read. I did make it bigger, actually. I can see. Happy Sunday, everyone. 49ers win, and God is good. God is good all the time, whether the 49ers win or not, kind sir. April says, hello. Hello, April. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Brother Benny in the house. Happy Sunday. Brother Funk says, I'll come back in a bit. I'm at a church accreditation service for our church plants. Nice. Well, guys and ladies, thank you for joining me. And here I'm going to share. Let me take that off. Turn on the stage for Mr. King Cryptid. So, King Cryptid, I had never heard of the word cryptid, to be honest with you. If I'm being, oops, nope, that's not the button. Where did all my buttons go? Okay, so I had never heard of a cryptid. So when I heard King Cryptid, I was not very familiar with the idea of what cryptids are, and quickly learned that if you know, and you are really into cryptids. So, like Bigfoot is a cryptid, any kind of mythical kind of creature can be considered a cryptid, like mermaids or cryptids. Just kind of a wide variety of different creatures can be considered cryptids. So I'm not well versed on it. So if you guys are into it, you're into it. I'm here to just kind of shout out my buddy Peter Simeti and his creation. You know, I didn't realize that he had so many already. So I thought I was caught up. I thought with issue number 8, it was caught up, and I was waiting for the next project launch, like the next Indiegogo. He does it Indiegogo. So this is the cover to issue number 8. And so I thought I had the complete set. But what I didn't realize was that if you go onto the King Cryptid on the Alterna site, you can pick up to issue number 13. I believe that's issue number 12. But this is who King Cryptid is. He's cursed and transformed centuries ago. King Cryptid is now on a path of redemption as he fights humans and inhuman monsters alike. So that is what you need to know about King Cryptid. And this is what I'm going to draw on. So when I supported the latest campaign that I thought was the latest campaign, but clearly it's not, it came with this this print, and it had a oops, I'm not sharing the page. Duh. Okay, so this is what came along with the comics, and so I saved it so that I could draw on the back and maybe create a collectible for anyone who likes King Cryptid. And if you've never read King Cryptid, I recommend it. It is I don't want to say it's family friendly, but it is family friendly. There's no cursing or anything like that. There's no extreme gore. It's actually a bunch of different stories that are adventures of King Cryptid. So that is what we're going to draw on. But before we get started on that, I'm going to show you what's been going on with Alpha Red number 8. This is the latest page that I'm working on in pencil. That's page 14. This here is page 13. I'll be hopefully done inking this by the end of the evening. So page 13 and on down. I won't tell you what's going on because I do want you to eventually buy this comic. Support me. In March is when I hope to have this completely, fully colored, fully lettered, ready to go. It is a wrestling-centric adventure with Alpha Red. So hopefully you guys are digging the artwork. I am having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun researching wrestling moves, some of the ins and outs of the wrestling entertainment sphere. They have some pretty rabid fans, and that is really the reason why I chose to do a wrestling-centric issue of Alpha Red, is because the fans are so excited about the fights and the characters and the storylines. And so when I would see them at comic book conventions, I would try to convince them to buy Alpha Red, and they say, no, I'm just here for the wrestling. So guess what? When I say pick up Alpha Red, hopefully they will be excited about picking up the wrestling issue of Alpha Red. What do you think, guys? Good marketing move or no? Yay, nay? Do you not care? So let's see if I missed anything. Brother Fong says that. And Trevor. Nope. Yep. Trevor Advisor. Howdy, Alpha Red. How you doing, Trevor? You know, it's funny that there's someone named Trevor in the chat, because my family and I were just talking that we've never met a Trevor in real life. And then my daughter, for the first time, met a man named Trevor. And so that was the talk of the dinner, that there are people named Trevor out there. So that was funny. That's funny. How Japanese death metal wrestling? How about it? Yeah, they are nuts. They are incredible. They are one of the most exciting to watch. Those Japanese wrestlers, they are insane, absolutely insane. Brother Jay Scott in the house. What's up, James? Happy Sunday, everyone. No shot. Yeah, I am starting to see more Trevors every day. That's too funny. It's just a name that I don't know. I don't know if you grew up with a lot of Trevors there, Trevor, but I don't. I've never met a Trevor in person. Obviously, if you're a fan of Wonder Woman comics, one of the main characters is Trevor or something or other. But that's funny. It's such a small world. Like the Trevor that my daughter met, he was definitely an older guy. So he's not like a young Trevor. He was officiating some kind of EMT certification that my daughter took. She took some kind of a test to get certified, and he was one of the moderator people who administered the test to make sure that you're not cheating. I have over here the reference that I've been promising people that I would find a place for, but I have to tape it down so you don't actually get to see what I'm using. But it's just a series of images of King Cryptid, because he's not as well known a character as maybe a Batman, even though as I was looking through these King Cryptid issues that I have, it's clear that my friend Peter Simeti had the Dark Knight in mind as he was creating this character, because his silhouette looks a lot like, or can look a lot like, Batman. Let me see. Trevor says, never met another Trevor. Never have I heard so many Trevors, and I may never. That's too funny. Yeah, sometimes names come and go. I remember when we were naming my older son. His name's Caleb. We had never heard of anyone named Caleb. Like, obviously, if you read the Bible, you know Caleb is a biblical name, but there weren't a whole lot of people named Caleb. So, like 2 days before my son was born, we met someone, and they had just had a baby, and their son was named Caleb. And we were like, oh, that's weird. But we didn't associate with them very often, so they wouldn't run in the same circles necessarily. And then along comes my son. We name him Caleb. And then every other kid that we met for like the next 2 years, every other kid was named Caleb. I was like, say what? and then now it has kind of vanished. So I don't know of any young kids named Caleb. So maybe there's a reason why Trevor came and went. Let me see. For nursing, okay, yeah, she became an EMT. Well, she is certified to be an EMT now because she's just more whatever, interested in biology and stuff. Am I familiar with Terminus Media? I am actually. Terminus Media, they do the lion stuff, right? I can't think of it. I just looked at the cover. It's the House of Saul or something like that. But yeah, I am familiar with them. A biblical name, so that is where Caleb came from. Yep. Yeah, I do believe in divine appointments. I think God positions people to share words. Amen. Amen. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, is Trevor in the Bible? Do you know, Trevor, if that's one of the names of an old king or something? Possibly. I know that he has crystals, I believe. Yeah. So King Cryptid has like this big wrestling type belt, but it's like anchored by this giant stone. But then he has some crystals on the side. He's got a loincloth here, thankfully. And he's got some bushy knees. So we'll make the wind kind of blow in this way. So all of his fur, like he's got some furry knees, it looks like. And all of that stuff can be blowing that way. And the hair on his knees will go, on his thigh here, can be going up like that. So Trevor says, I don't think so. Not in the Bible. If it is, I am not aware. So what is that, the book from Terminus Media? Am I thinking about that right, Trevor? Is that... goodness, what is it? They had some really cool animations or dramatizations of the pages that were very compelling. I mean, compelling enough that I bought the book. So, and I don't know if are they still creating new issues of that book. So King Cryptid has a big cape, so we'll definitely want to make the cape. So King Cryptid really is like, he lives in the woods of New Hampshire, I believe. Let me get a snapshot. I think I'm pretty much like, okay, maybe I won't take a snapshot yet because I need to find a light source. So do I want the moon up here or the moon over here? Because it matters, right? So if the moon's over there, then all of the shadows will fall over on this side. A couple little hairs over there. And he'll be mostly black then, maybe. Especially because the cape, his cape will be draped this way. Just trying to make sure that the image pops out a bit. I don't think so. If it's not, if it is, I am not aware. I think the Book of Trevor is Apocrypha. Maybe. Yeah, I haven't the slightest. I know a gentleman from there in real life. Oh, okay. I have it across the room in my box full of independent comics, and that's where I grabbed my issues of King Cryptid. And so that's why I just looked at it. Brother Patrick Daniels in the house. What's going on, Patrick? Good evening, everyone. Trevor says he was local here in Michigan, but now him and his family have moved to Florida. Wow. Florida would be nice right about now. I'm in New York, central New York, and it has begun snowing yet again, friends, yet again. I know I complain about it as if it happens a lot up here, but it actually happens a lot up here. So not a lot though today. This I believe, depending on where you are on the central New York map, it can be anywhere from a dusting to 3 inches. So we have what is called lake effect snow up here, where the Arctic winds come down from Canada and they blow across the Great Lakes. We have Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, and it'll pick up moisture and it'll bypass, like it'll go right over top of a bunch of the towns in between, and then just dump right over the Finger Lakes region. And so we get smashed up here in central New York. All right, I am going to take a picture like so. Yeah, I didn't know. So isn't it Derek Bell, Trevor, the guys from Terminus? I know there was a Dr. Don't they do Pixley? They do some animation, don't they? I want to say. Or at least they were trying to. If I'm not mistaken. Something called Pixley something. Where is... I'm looking for something like a little sheet of paper. I can grab any sheet of paper, really. Ah, yes, my sheet of paper. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's see. Trevor says, you hold your Bible and defend it for dear life. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. With the snow? With snow, you mean? Maybe? But, yes, they, Dr. Bell is, I don't know if that's who you were friends with locally, Trevor, but I think there was a guy named Bell who he actually reached out to me in 2024 as I was trying to wrap my mind around what I wanted to do with Alpha Red. And Trevor, I don't know if you heard in the beginning here where I create a Christian comic called Alpha Red. That's why the channel is called Alpha Red. But he reached out to me, Dr. Bell. I kept referring to him as Dr. Bell. So I think he was looking for an artist or something. And I said that I would reach back out to him when I had a little bit more time. And there was a window of maybe, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks until I was able to clear my schedule to maybe think about the direction of where I wanted to be as far as Alpha Red and helping other creators with their projects. And he never got back to me. I reached back out and wanted to connect because I was very impressed with what I saw that Terminus Media was doing. Let me see. I just mean that Muslim mayor out there. Oh, in Michigan or Minnesota? Does Michigan have a Muslim mayor? Maybe I missed something here. Awesome. I will definitely be sharing your work on my website. I want to start sharing and featuring more work like this. That's awesome. I appreciate that, Trevor. I do. Yeah, the goal is to really inspire other creators to kind of invest in creating like kingdom glorifying comics for people who love comics but don't have a lot of choices out there when it comes to good family entertainment. Let's do. He has quite the beard, this King Cryptid fella. Quite the facial hair. And I want to make sure that I'm catching some wind here so that it looks like he is standing in the trees, being affected by it. Shotgun. Oh. Here, Mamdani is who you're talking about. I gotcha. Appreciate that. And then New York. Yes. King Cryptid rules. Shotgun Scream is in the house. Yes. How's the new year been? Very good. It. I can't complain. You know, there have been some challenges, to be honest with you. They're, you know, personal things, but everyone's healthy. Just the bad things are just largely inconveniences. That's how I can describe them, because I mean they cost money. My son got into an accident, and that just cascaded into a lot of challenges and continues to cause some challenges. But he learned a big lesson. There's a lot of scrambling for a car for my wife. Then it turned into scrambling for a car for my son, who wrecked my wife's car. And so all of those things have recently been resolved as of Saturday morning. So we're still kind of still feeling the fatigue of schedules being pushed around, and my son, you know, just financial stuff. He has the money to buy a new vehicle, but yeah. Trevor says, I like the song Monsters by a band of horses that explains that pretty well. I must have missed something. Monsters about cryptids, you mean, Trevor? If you could clarify. Good thing you got that promotion. I did. It was. Glad things are getting cleared up. Yeah. So, I mean, it's all just, like I said, it's kind of a nuisance. And it did not erase the raise, since my son will be paying for most of it, because he worked all summer for his brother. So we are in our youth think we are invisible and not absent from the circumstances of reality. Yeah. Yep. All right. So yeah, I am missing a bunch of King Cryptid, I believe, because I did not realize that it was available up to issue number 13. I am only caught up to issue number 8. So I don't know if it is a recent thing that Pete has up to issue number 13. I know that he had to do 2 campaigns back to back. It felt like one, he started another campaign before the previous one was fulfilled. So it was actually confusing to me. And maybe that is why I didn't realize that I did not back the latest campaign. So I'll reach out to him. And because I do want to pick up issues 9 through 13. Issues 9 through 13. So yeah, I wanted to do this on the back of the postcard that I think it's a postcard. Whatever it was. It's on the back of this thing here. Bam. But I saved it from the last campaign that I got something from Pete. And I thought it'd be fun to do a drawing on the back. Maybe I'll send it to him. Maybe I'll sell it. We haven't had an auction thing in a while over there. And I'm just grateful that he included me with the Alterna guys when he was doing that. I don't know if he still does that. I'm actually busy creating new comics, so I don't follow Pete's live streams and stuff as much. And he hasn't, as far as I know, he has not done as many recently, or it's not as regular as it was when I first met him in 2024. I know it just takes away a lot of your time as a creator. But if you don't do it, if you don't get on, people forget about you because we are so easily distracted. So I make sure to get on every week so that when and if my next project is ready, you guys at least know about it so that you can either spread the word or help support. It's been very good to have these draw streams because there are opportunities for you guys to support it by buying the sketches. I hope this comes out okay. as fur, because he's fuzzy. I guess it's not too bad. I was thinking that he was a little bit less shaggy than this. I think we are. Trevor says, I unfortunately had to learn life's lessons the hard way. I had a lot of people eager to serve me the way, but I wanted to rebel. It's a real shame. But by the grace of God, here I am. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. We all kind of go through. I know I had my fair share of years of debauchery. So you are not alone. Took a writing class with Pete. It was really good. Pete's pretty smart. I love his insight on stuff. So I'm sad that he doesn't do as many live streams anymore. But I understand how it can get old, and it can feel like a waste of time repeating some of the stuff and trying to just come up with content to keep everyone interested. So I don't begrudge him for not doing as many anymore, because you don't want it to be like a drag, but it can get in the way of creating more independent comics. I know sometimes it just seems like you turn on the camera and the live stream, and you're thankful that people catch you on the live or watch it on the repeat or whatever. But you really have to. Nothing gets that job done. Nothing gets the comic made until you sit down and create the comic. So I get that it is a little bit of a challenge to balance those different things. See, Trevor says, yeah, you got to be able to find inspiration and hope at the end of the road. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think back as a kid and the love I had for American comic books and art in general. Indeed. Yeah, so I am not in New York City. I'm up in central New York, in Syracuse, Finger Lakes area. So we don't have Mayor Mamdani. So thankfully, I don't have to worry too much about that. It's been a while since I've been to New York City. It's not close, even though everybody assumes that New York City is like everybody in New York goes to New York City or is close to New York City. It's actually much closer to many other things. New York City is just like so. It's in the corner along the ocean, so it is not really close to any other parts of New York. So I didn't realize the difference before I moved up here. And my cousin grew up in New York City. I think he still lives there. Actually, I don't know where he lives. Maybe he does. But when I told him I was moving up here, he's like, "Oh, you're moving upstate?" I was like, "Oh, is that what you call it?" They call it upstate. And I said, "Where does upstate like?" There's New York City, so this is how people in the city see the state. There's New York, which is them. They think of it like you think of it. Anyone who doesn't live here, New York City is New York to them. And then they, it's very arrogant about being New York City, being New York. And then the rest of the state is, to them, is upstate. So when you watch movies, when you watch any, like the Marvel movies, they say that they're somewhere in upstate New York. It just means that they're outside of New York City. So you could be right outside of New York City, or you can be all the way up here where I live, like 5 hours away from New York City. So everybody does think when you say, I live in New York, they just assume that you live in New York City. 'Tis not the case. 'Tis not the case. Let's see. Here we go. I think we can collectively get people back to sharing an inspiring vision for our youth. Yep, that's what I want. That's what I want. I've always passed through New York. My son lives in Massachusetts. Yeah, I have a friend who goes to Massachusetts to visit his kids. He's from Central New York here. But yeah, it's a long state to drive through. Especially if you're going downstate, which is what we have to call it, New York City. They even get to be called the city. That's how pretentious New York City is. They are the city. That's funny. But yeah, we've driven through Massachusetts. I know my son has been to Massachusetts to pick up some of his plowing equipment. He owns a landscaping business, and I don't know why he has to go out to Boston to pick up some of this stuff and to have some of this stuff installed. But that is, he says that the traffic around Boston is terrible. But nowhere, as far as driving goes, nowhere is as bad as Connecticut, I don't think. I don't know if anybody out there is a resident of Connecticut, but I've only driven through Connecticut a handful of times, and I got to tell you, it has been some of the worst and most confusing times driving in my 30 some odd years of driving. 40, how old am I? I'm 50, so I got my license at 16. So however many years that is, I've got some experience driving. And as a traveling salesman, I end up driving a lot. And nowhere is as bad, quite as bad as Connecticut. Gosh, I'm curious about that that lion comic based on the story of David. Can't think of what it's called, but I did order it. I do have it. I have read it. So, Michigan, huh? How are things out in Michigan? Is it cold out there? Imagine you guys have a lot of snow. I figure there's a lot of snow out in Michigan this time of year. You guys have a Great Lake out there too, don't you? Superior? Lake Superior? All right. So these are mostly the quick lines. And then I'll come back in with some thicker lines to hopefully add some contrast and make it look like a more legit piece. Let me see. Yeah, I'm seeing what I missed here. Trevor says, so many great films surrounded and involved with New York. I almost feel like I've lived there just from all the movies. Yep. So I've watched some YouTube channels from foreign people who come and visit America, and of course everybody wants to do New York City, and they get on the subway and they're like, I feel like I'm riding through a movie. So I know that feeling. I love the Boston and New York accents. New York, yeah. Being a Michigan native and living in both Texas and Massachusetts, I have heard the polar opposites of American accents. Very funny. Yeah, Massachusetts is too tiny and congested. I'll put that in a spot to avoid. Yep. Tried the traffic in Atlanta on a busy day. Yeah, I hear like Atlanta, LA, like crazy. It's been a mild winter. Nice. Lucky you. We've had record snow so far this year. You did get some snow. Yep, surrounded by all the Great Lakes. Nice. And the Mackinac Bridge. I am not familiar with that bridge. Not familiar. All right, this is where I come in and pretend like this pen is a brush. And Patrick Daniel can shake his head at me when I don't ink correctly. So you want to get some line weights. You have to know kind of where the light is coming from. So light's coming from here. So all these lines back here will be the ones that get the heavier brush strokes, even though I'm using a pen. And this is where the heavier ink will be laid down, just to make sure that get some of that contrast going. We'll leave the beard. Let the beard go. Leave a little whiteness through some of the hairs there. So that it looks, it gives the beard a little bit of room to flow. We'll leave like this part up here a little less inky. I remember this is like bone or something like that. I believe that's what Pete was saying. That's what Pete was saying. Some kind of like a hard shell type stuff. But yeah, King Cryptid can fly. He's super strong. Apparently he's like 7 foot tall or 700 pounds or something like that. I forget. There's a 7 in there, I want to say. I know he's about 500 years old, I believe Pete was saying. So there's a lot of interesting things about the old King Cryptid here. The old King Cryptid. Patrick Daniel says, no head shaking here. That's looking fantastic. I appreciate that. I appreciate the encouragement, sir. Yeah, that's the bridge that connects the divide between Michigan bottom and top glove that has like a snow, like to show, for example, much like 2 hands. So I was familiar with the mitten thing. I just didn't know there was a bridge that connected them. Nice. Brother Fong is back. When's the Kickstarter for AR number 8 going to start? Hopefully sometime mid-February, ending mid-March. And then you hopefully will have it by the end of March. That is the goal right now, Brother Fong. I wonder what the West's fascination with anime is and why they have chosen that art medium versus American comic books and cartoons. Did you ever think about that, or is there any competition? I think it has something to do with the action. It just seems like it moves a little bit better as far as manga goes, the comic book versions of it. I believe if I showed you some manga art, it is very exciting. It has a lot of motion, and I am trying to incorporate a little bit of that look into my comics, and just to see if I'm trying to if I am deconstructing it in the way that I think is correct. I know that there are kids who come up to my table and I ask them if they read comics, and they say, no, I read manga. And so I asked them, what do you mean? What's the difference between manga and comics? And they can't tell me. But I think it has to do also with the size and how it is packaged and presented. So I am in the process of converting Alpha Red 1 through 5 into a manga-sized comic to see if kids who are used to the smaller, more square size, and it's not completely square, but it's definitely not as rectangular as American comics. So I'm going to give that a shot. There are, I don't know how to explain it either, Trevor. There is, I don't know if it's because there's so much more of it and the storylines like actually end. Like, I don't think other countries are as protective about their characters as American comics are. I think that what we do, what the corporations that own the superhero comics that we grew up with, they want those characters to stay the same forever because they can't create anything. So they just assume that if they stop making Peter Parker a 20-something-year-old loser, that they will no longer have any Spider-Man comics. But I've heard here recently in a description, I forget what the YouTube channel is. I just found him, and it's been very eye-opening. I like his analysis, and it could be right, could be wrong, but he says that he's done the research, and it isn't until a manga reaches the end of its life that it really, like the end of the story, that people really start picking it up, because they can pick up the whole 5 or 6 year run all in one giant story. Like, they don't have to wait. So it's the opposite thinking, and the characters go through huge transformations, and they'll kill off important characters just to drive the story forward. And there's character growth. They're not afraid to just kind of put their characters through the paces. So that's one of the reasons. So that's why I'm not, I'm not too scared about making changes to Alpha Red. He'll go through some major changes. I'm just trying to take some cues from that kind of thinking, because in our daily life, the more interesting stories are dramatic, and they do cause major change in someone's life. So why not allow our fictional characters to just go through some of the loss and some of the hardships that people can identify with or be invested in. So that is my kind of newest understanding of why manga is so popular in general, and then why is it so popular with the young people nowadays. That I'm not sure. I mean, we used to be able to find comic books in every store. I remember buying them at gas stations. I remember buying them at bookstores, drugstores. If you've ever seen me or watched some of my old videos, you'll remember that I would ride up to the People's Drug. It's a drugstore about a mile away, and I would go up there every week to see if any new comic books had come out. That was the closest one that I knew to my house. Then as I got older, I would ride my bike all the way downtown. And this was when I lived in Pennsylvania. So we had a pretty decent downtown. So, all right, guys, we're getting to the end of this. It just snuck up on me. And the time is, it's roughly the right amount of time on the clock that I like to do, because I do want to finish up page 13 of Alpha Red tonight. I was supposed to finish up page 14 by the end of tonight, but that just did not happen. So if you guys are interested in this will appear in my Etsy store, unless you just send me $30. I will send you this and an issue of Alpha Red #1. If you don't already have Alpha Red #1, I will include that because it is my independent comic creation. Let me see, where's my handy dandy circle maker here? Because I want to do the moon up in the corner. I'm just going to use this this cap. The moon is going to be huge. So if you're interested in this, I'm going to put it up at jamesq.net for $30. And I think that's it. Guys. I'm going to read the rest of your comments and then bid you adieu. And you too can own. Whoop. My thing just fell. But this is the other side of it. You get a picture. This is King Cryptid up here. He flies. So, and this is the drawing right here. But let me jump on here and see what you guys, and this is, let me see if I can. All right. This is the Alterna website where you can buy some King Cryptid. Show Pete some love over at Alterna Comics. I have the link in the description below. But there it is. All right, let's see what I missed. Let me go back. All right, Trevor says, so there is more cohesion and it's more appealing. Yeah, like I think it's just because the stories continue. Like they're allowed to grow up, they're allowed to get married, they're allowed to have kids, they're allowed to, important people die, it just moves like a real story, like any kind of real story. End of March would be great. Birthday present for me. There you go, sir. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, I know manga reads from left to right versus right to left. Yeah, I've heard that the people who read it here in the West, they don't care either way. Like they're used to not reading things the right way, but like the original, the opposite of what Western reading is. But so some people do prefer it, like more authentic, where you read from the back to the front. But they understand that with American manga, it reads right to left. So or left to right. You know what I mean. Brother Funk says, your birthday is at the end of the month, right? Correct, sir. Correct. The 28th of January is my birthday. And I will be 51. 51 years old. Trevor says, I've always universally thought manga was nothing more than the unequivocal word comic book. That's what I thought too, but I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I don't know what manga translated means. So, Patrick Daniel says, your inking style is a great match for King Cryptid. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I try. I definitely try. Well, I know for myself, I grew up with a healthy mix of everything. It was never this anime mania that it is today. I love those days. That's right. The 90s, boy. I loved the 90s. Let me see. I do like anime and manga a lot. Don't get me wrong. Nope. I am visually attracted to a lot of manga. Some of my favorite series and art is from anime and manga. Fist of the North Star. That's right. That was huge. I used to love that. Maybe we'll do a Fist of the North Star one of these times. Maybe we'll do some manga. That's some great inspiration there, Trevor. This is dope. I really wish I had some extra pennies in the bank. I'd love to get this. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Maybe it'll be sitting up there until somebody gets it. So 11 years, my senior. Your wisdom shows you're doing well. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining me, Trevor. Thank you for participating and making it a great, enjoyable show for everyone with the questions. I love you guys for asking the questions and interacting, and that's the best part for me. So I'm glad that you guys hung out with me. We'll get the final. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys. Let me turn this off here. Turn this off so I can hit the ending thing. So until next time, guys, grace, peace.
From the shadows he rises with courage in his heart, a beacon of hope. He's ready to start with faith as his armor and a fire in his soul. Alpha Red stands tall, fulfilling his role. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Red. In a world full of chaos, where evil may lurk, he fights for the righteous, his mission and work. Guided by God, with strength from above, he battles the darkness with unyielding love. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Alpha Red. When the night seems too long and hope seems so far, look to the skies, we'll see his bright star. With a prayer and a promise, he faces the fight. Alpha Red shines through, the beacon of light. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, infrared.